The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
Did you know that most vitamin D3 supplements come from sheep's wool? I'm Kat, founder of Ritual. We're making traceability the new standard for the supplement industry. When I was pregnant, I couldn't find a multivitamin I could trust, so I created my own. Ours is made traceable, third-party tested, and clean label project certified. Oh, and our vitamin D3? It comes from sustainably harvested lichen from England, not sheep. Trace for yourself with 25% off at ritual.com/podcast.
I'm Victoria Cash. Thanks for calling the Lucky Land Hotline. If you feel like you do the same thing every day, press 1. If you're ready to have some serious fun for the chance to redeem some serious prizes, press 2. We heard you loud and clear. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com right now and play over 100 social casino-style games for free. Get lucky today at LuckyLandSlots.com.
Available to players in the U.S., excluding Washington and Michigan. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
Know the beautiful thing about being a sports fan? There's only like 2 days in the whole year without a game. 2. With so much happening and so much action, that makes just about every day game day at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple, like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. It really couldn't be any easier, any simpler. And if you're new to DraftKings, you gotta check this out. New customers can get up to $300 in bonus bets instantly based on the amount of their first bet. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code IHEART. That's promo code IHEART for new customers to get up to $300 in bonus bets instantly based on the amount of their first bet. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Ohio only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at dkng.co/base.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthma Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
you have smoked yourself retarded.
here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
All right, welcome to the Weedsman Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron.
We were gone for a while.
We are back. We are back in your feed. Thanks for not deleting us.
Yeah.
We know you didn't because nobody does.
Yeah.
Nobody cleans out their podcast feed, I don't think.
I do. We just.
Yeah.
I every now and then I go through and like, all right, what don't I listen to anymore? And then I clean them up.
Yeah.
I'm being that guy.
Right, but if they just disappear for a while, then it's not there's not even a reminder there to go, oh yeah, I need to unfollow this.
It's true.
Yeah.
But like this is the time of year where there is a podcast I follow and unfollow. It's my fantasy football podcast.
Right.
I follow them in July. I listen to them till about October. You know, if they're on a good run.
But why follow and unfollow? Why not just let it sit there on your feed and not listen to it until you're ready to listen to it again?
Because it sits there and clogs just the way I have my podcast set up, it'll like, oh look, something I'm not interested about right now.
I guess I'm much
March.
much more of a horror about that. Like I like to listen. I get infatuated with podcasts where I'll just run through them. Lately, it's been the Tim Heidecker podcast, which I think is actually really good. But I tend to I'm vaguely interested in something, so I'll follow it to see who they've got on. And so, yeah, I guess long story short, there's a lot of garbage in my feed. that I just ignore and I just go scroll past.
I've begun listening to Shane and Matt's secret podcast, or Matt and Shane's secret podcast.
What's that one about?
It's Shane Gillis and...
Okay.
Oh, God. Matt.
Shane Gillis is comedian?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to think.
He was the guy who got hired and fired from Saturday Night Live in like a weekend.
Got it. Okay. It was like a name that I really knew. I don't have a face actually to put to it, but I know I've heard him on like podcasts and shit before. Is he like controversial?
Allegedly, like his...
Like I know that he got fired from SNL for shit that he like...
Yeah.
But like their tweets,
no,
right?
I was listening to it before you came over. I was thinking about like why I like the podcast, because it's just two dudes sitting around being dudes.
Right. I was just curious, is he like leaning into that and, you know, like trying to be, or I mean, probably he just is, right?
No, he's not leaning in. No, he's not like aggressively.
Yeah.
No, he's just doing his thing and he's just gotten.
He's not doing like a Dice Clay.
No. He's just being himself, and that he turned lemons into lemonade with this whole SNL thing. It actually got him some traction. Like, and then they had him back to host. Like, what was it, 3 months ago or something like that? Like, he got to pull a Norm Macdonald.
Right. Yeah. No, I remember that, and I don't remember. I just remember hearing about it on different podcasts and shit.
I mean, and
because I listen to a lot of comedian podcasts, and that's, from what I hear, he handled it well. Like, he wasn't. I don't know. I guess just the fact that he appeared means he handled it well.
Yeah.
Like, my first instinct would have been probably fuck you, but then also, like, a lot of people still watch SNL and pay attention to who goes on it.
Well,
and when there's a controversy like that too, a lot more people are going to watch it.
He did a bunch of interviews about it that when he was going on SNL, and pretty much that's all everybody asked him about. He said it was no ill will between him and the show. And he even said when it first started, Lorne Michaels was like, whatever, like, who cares?
Well,
and eventually the people upstairs told Lorne Michaels, it eventually got so, the quote-unquote outrage got so big that they were like, okay, we can't.
It got to the point where it was just, like, the old adage, there's no such thing as bad press when it comes to especially showbiz related things. There is a point to where, like, too much bad press is just gonna. It was a smart move, to bring him back. It's the easy way to just dispel it.
Hold on, I'm trying to see. This is the sketch that made me like this dude, but who knows if it's gonna fire up on my iPad.
Is he a good podcast host? Then he's just kind of naturally funny guy.
Yeah,
that's what I'm really into. I mean, not to. It's just. No disrespect, but, like, there's comedians who have, like, honed their act and, they're really good at it. And then there's naturally funny people who also have done the same thing. Right? Mm-hmm. So, like, I can't.
Hold on.
I can't listen to Fly on the Wall anymore. Well, there's 2-man podcasts where they're just bullshitting.
Yeah.
That's unlistenable. And it's totally guest dependent. If they're going to have somebody like a Kevin Nealon on, who I know is going to be hilarious no matter what, I'm going to tune in. But those guys, I'm not going to say they're not funny, because I think they're both hilarious people, right? They're great in movies. They're great on skits on SNL. Great at stand-up. I mean, Dana Carvey had a really popular stand-up special, but that was almost more like a one-man show type where he's going through characters, and he's like, that's not his strongest suit, and neither is Spade. And Spade, makes a great living still. I don't know if he needs to make a living, but he makes good money doing stand-up still, and people respond to it well. But I think that he's just kind of more of a clown. Like, he's not. I don't find him sharp or witty in his comedy.
His shtick is bagging on entertainment, or it used to be.
Right? Yeah,
he's really good at it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a snide attitude, that snide 90s Gen Xer attitude that plays. And look, I still find him charming. I would not shell out $50 to go see him do stand up. That's not something I need to experience.
I steal one of his jokes all the time. Especially when they're talking about a band that's, like, past their prime or only had, like, one hit. When he says, "You better open," and I forget what he was talking. I think it was. He was talking about Big Country. He's like, "You better open and close with Big Country," because it was like 1994, 1995.
Yeah,
that's just to say, like, I'll do the same shit. Like, when I saw Manson in 2008, I was like, "You better open and close with The Beautiful People." It is 2008, and you are Marilyn Manson. Like,
I just don't think, like, I don't know. There's just certain types of people who are just naturally funny in conversation. Like, that's why I like listening to. I think I like listening to Pete Holmes on his podcast more than I even like his stand-up, which I enjoy. I think he's funny at both. But he is such a great, and he's also just like an easy laugher, and he's a great host in that way. But yeah, not every comedian can really successfully carry a podcast like that.
Yeah, I found the sketch that made me like Shane Gillis. It's somehow hard to find it, but here. So setting the scene because it starts like right away.
Is it not on NBC's? Like,
I think it's
YouTube
been
feed?
told. I think you got to pay for it now if you want to see it. 'Cause it's his
behind the
old shit.
paywall. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, but a plane is going down.
Okay.
Setting the scene, and he's making a phone call.
All right.
This is Shane with the fucking red Subaru. Yeah, you guys fucking suck at your job. I'm gonna come down there and beat the fuck out of you, you fucking stupid bitch. Alright, I'll be down in 10 minutes. Get ready. You better start stretching. I'm gonna fucking wear you out, dumbass. 10 minutes. Parking lot, pussy.
Excuse me?
What?
He's just,
Fucking hate.
yeah.
Did you have loved ones to call?
He's just.
I'm gonna call my wife and kids. Listen to her fucking bitch at me for the last 5 minutes. Fuck that. I'm about to die, dude. She's gonna fuck someone else, like this year. That pisses me off a little bit.
Just a minute.
What are you gonna tell her? Oh! Nobody wants to hear their fucking mom die. $100 she's putting on Netflix in 1 hour. Actually, fuck it. I'll bet you $1 billion. Call someone you hate. Really fuck their shit up. Give it a shot, dude.
Okay, that's a truncated version. But then she's like, "Put your father on the phone," and then everyone starts doing dumb shit. Like this lady's like, "I just put my nudes on Instagram," and then people are just calling people and telling them to fuck off. That kind of shit.
I like the idea that he's. What's happening?
That was just the next video that played.
Okay. I thought you got some drops for us this morning.
Oh, God. Sorry, I'm navigating on my iPad, everybody. I left my computer at work. First show back,
I love the idea. That was like a total like Jerky Boys type of call too. Like just winding a guy up, telling you're going to meet him out in the parking lot in 10.
Yeah. He's on the auto shop that was working on his car. There's another one. It's called The Last White Football Team, and just the premise of the sketch. He's basically poking fun at Alabama. It's basically what Alabama did in the 60s. Like, we're the last all-white college, all this and that.
Yeah.
And then they get the shit beat out of them by, like, UCLA. And then they start letting black guys in. And then they start winning games. And the whole premise of the sketch is how they just get less and less racist the more games they win. And then, the final one.
Like, it starts off with some black people are okay if we get the good ones,
yeah.
right?
And then the final thing, the coach is wearing, like, a dashiki and shit.
That's a good point. Like, I don't know. You're not going to kill all forms of racism. There's still going to be people who are able to segment their brains in weird ways that allows them to go, I like this black dude that I see on TV that's really good with the ball, but the same dude I see walking down on the street in my neighborhood makes me nervous.
But just even taking racism out of it, right? We do it with entertainment, like Michael Jackson. A lot of us look the other way because we like his music.
Well, I guess it's kind of like the flip side of that, right? Like, same mentality, but drastically different results.
R. Kelly got away with a lot of shit for like 30 years because we liked his music.
Okay.
Bill Cosby.
I don't know where you're going exactly. Like, it's a double-edged sword.
No, I'm
cuts
saying
both ways.
we'll look the other. Like how people look the other way with athletics because we're winning games,
right? But like what they're looking the other way on their horrible beliefs, right?
And I'm saying,
which another way to phrase it is overcoming their horrible beliefs.
I'm just saying,
I don't know if it's
my thing is, and then we'll look the other way on horrible people because we like their shit. I guess it's in the same vein.
It's in the same. I follow you now. It's in the same vein.
How much did Harvey Weinstein get away with? Because we like Pulp Fiction.
We like the result of whatever it is that they do, and so we're able that overcomes a lot.
Yes,
it overcomes a lot of like things that are like built into us. I guess like these primal.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Some people were still looking the other way on OJ till the end. But he ran for 2,000 yards.
That's why when I was listening to Tim Heidecker's podcast. I've been going back. I'm probably in the vast minority of podcast listeners that when I find something new, I listen backwards. I just start whatever the last one is and just start working my way back down.
Yeah, you start with the most current.
Yeah.
It's like a time capsule.
Unless they're really doing something interesting and I'm like, I want to hear where it starts. But yeah.
Or
it is like a tiny, because when OJ died, I went back and listened to that one.
Or if they're guest dependent, I'll go through and
pick out the
my
juicy ones
first.
Yeah, sometimes I'll do that. But when OJ died, he went through like this obit on OJ that was like talking about his career in football and the movies and all that shit. And acted like he had never heard about the anything else.
BET Awards did they had an in memoriam and he was in it. Jeez. And people clapped. Not everybody. It wasn't, I would not call it uproarious applause, but there was some applause.
Did you know, so we do know that OJ famously published a book called If I Did It. And which everyone, I'm sure, when they first read the headline that was going to be released, they were like, am I on the Onion? Like, what? Like, that has to be satire. But he did indeed publish a book called If I Did It. He lost a civil suit to the Browns, right?
Never paid him any money.
Never paid him any money.
In a trust, so they can't get it now.
They got everything that they could, and part of that was the rights to that book, right? So they republished the book with a cover with like the if in like 10-point font and I did it in like 50. So it just looks like, unless you get up real close to it, the book is called I Did It.
Well, the big rumors now, they say it was OJ's son.
Yeah, I know that's the theory that OJ was covered.
Because they say what the evidence never was actually an exact match. It was like a familial match or some shit like that.
I don't know. You know,
it was like the infancy of DNA evidence.
I think this is all part of like the CSI effect, I think they call it now. Like everyone has this idea of like DNA evidence being this like thing where it's just numbers, right? You run it through the computer and it just, look, they're the same.
They said his son was a sous chef.
Yeah.
He's good with knives.
You generally get close, but like close is because there's so many different combinations, like getting close is pretty damning in and of itself, because like the chances of somebody else having almost your DNA is that did it and you did not, it's just astronomical.
Hey man,
I mean, I guess what I'm saying, it's just another way to like narrow down. It's not the smoking gun that we perceive it to be, because it's always like, well, we've got the DNA.
It still blows my mind that he got off because Mark Furman used the N-word once. Like, that's essentially why OJ got off.
I don't know how many times he did or didn't use it.
No, it was in a screenplay or something he wrote.
Yeah. Well, I mean, was that a factor? I guess, but he got off because the whole trial was racialized.
Yes.
You know?
Well, that's how they racialized it.
Yeah. That's one of the elements.
We're talking like Ali G.
Is that not a word?
Racialism, I think it said.
Yeah. What is racialism? The Ali G movie? Well, not like, it's not like,
I love that movie.
That movie is fucking hilarious. I'm glad you said that, because I
think the movie is very underrated.
It's totally scripted too. It's not like Borat or Sasha, where he's going out and like clowning on people.
I think that's why people didn't like it.
It's just a ridiculous scripted comedy it's fucking great.
Oh, we still use one-liners from that movie to this day. We say, "I is touching cloth."
Yeah, and he's got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that would be the first time I've heard that one. I don't know if he coined that phrase or if that was an old one. I think that's pretty much the first time where I heard that. I is touching cloth. Man, you know, like comedies. We don't get. That's what's wrong with comedies these days. You know, they like comedies now are like the Barbie movie, which I thought is hilarious, but it's kind of it's a big concept movie too. The Fall Guy, which I thought was funny, but didn't really do as well as everyone thought it would be. But also, you know, it was cool action and all that, but it's not a pure comedy. The Pop-Tart movie was just a straightforward comedy, and I thought it did it really well. Did you watch the?
I did not. I did not have Netflix.
Yeah. I'd recommend watching it.
My girlfriend has Netflix.
Yeah,
that's how I saw the Bill Burr one, Old Dads.
Oh yeah. I still haven't seen that. No, I mean, the Pop-Tart movie was ridiculous.
I mean, it looked like it. I heard all the word of mouth on it, and to me, like with what the word of mouth was, the stills I saw from the movie looked okay. They looked like exactly what it was probably supposed to be.
Yeah,
as far as comedy wise.
Yeah, it was an absurd comedy. Like you're not supposed to take. It was very much in the vein of the Weird Al biopic
that everybody loved.
Yeah, which was great.
I still haven't watched. I have 2 Rokus. I have access to it.
That's really funny. I think I like the Weird Al biopic better. But yeah, I don't know. I think most of it is just because Jerry Seinfeld's old and he's like at
another
that
old white man.
He's at that. He's Cosbyan, right? I mean, before we found out that meant flipping people a Mickey and raping them,
right?
We thought it just meant getting old and complaining about the kid, complaining about fucking Eddie Murphy, using curse words.
Filth, the foul, and filth.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, so what? Like, he hasn't earned any of that. He's like, he had one of the most successful sitcoms on television ever.
What roast was it?
He still has a long and successful stand-up career.
It was him and Larry David went up at a roast,
and
they were like, "Hey!" It's at the time the industry, well, it still is, but they were like, it was like, we got the last 2 tickets to Disneyland before it burned down.
What?
They were doing a roast together, and they were acting like they hadn't seen each other in a while. Like, hey, how's it going?
He's not a special. I'm phrasing that wrong. Not a special comedian. He's not a comedian that like got known for his specials. Like, there's no what's the hour Jerry Seinfeld that you should watch. There just isn't.
It's more after his show are the ones that you should watch.
Yeah. I don't know. Like
he did Live from New York.
Oh, okay.
But that was like his first special after the show ended. So that was why that was a big deal, I think.
Right. Yeah, everyone's going to want to see that because they all want to see, what's he going to do next?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, he seems just more like Mike Birbiglia, I think, is a genius. And his latest, I think it's called The Old Man in the Water.
Like, I don't know.
Is
it funny?
Yes.
Because the last one,
so funny.
He had the one that wasn't funny. I was like, what is this?
About the one where he talks about his sleepwalking?
I don't know. It was within, I think, the last 5 years. He had one that it was like...
I don't know if I watched that one.
I've seen his specials, and I like them. But there was one where he was just... where he was, like, serious the whole time. I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I think he's able to break tension in really amazing ways. But, yeah. But I also think, like, that's a comedian who I've heard a lot on podcasts, and he's always really funny, too. Just... I guess what I usually call naturally funny. Conversationally funny. Maybe that's a better way to put it.
I love when Pete Holmes is on other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
But I tried his podcast, and it wasn't for me.
Well,
I was like, that's too much, Pete.
I know what you mean, too. And he really goes hard on, like... I said hard on. There's a whole, like, self-help, self-improvement side of him that he's really into. The products that he's pushing, some of which sound interesting, some of which I've tried before. Some of it's just like Element Tea and shit like that everyone's doing.
Like Greg Fitzsimmons.
But
category too.
Yeah.
I tried his podcast. He's a better guest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Pete Holmes does one with his wife too. That man, they crack each other up. But sometimes they go off on these things where they're like reading poetry and like talking about their traumas and how it affects the raising their kid. And I still listen to it, but sometimes
into the self-indulgent.
Oh,
it's like, oh, come on. Like there's more than just you two.
I mean, I guess, mostly what I'm looking for out of podcast entertainment is people who are either they're funny or they're cracking each other up. Or they're passionate. I love hearing people talk about things that they're really into. So that's, like what I can listen to. People talk, and I don't listen to sports podcasts, but some of the podcasts that I listen to delve into sports every once in a while. And I think it's very interesting to hear about, just what people are passionate about.
I'm a Gen X stereotype. Here I am now. Entertain me.
We're probably the least passionate, the most jaded generation.
Yeah. Like, keep it interesting or I'm moving on. Or maybe that's just how my brain is.
Yeah, I don't even, it doesn't always have to be interesting. I'm just most of the times looking for a distraction from all the crazy shit that's going on out there.
Yeah.
Fucking hurricanes that are going from Texas up to where we're at in Michigan.
Yeah, they do that. They come inland. That's what they do.
Well, I guess it's a tropical depression now. By the time it gets to us,
it's a big mass of rain.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of flooding.
I mean, I remember when Sandy came inland and we got hit with it a few years ago.
Heat waves all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, and we, who died recently was what's his name, Minhoff.
Ooh,
He was a senator who was he a senator or representative? I think he was a senator. Senator Jim Inhofe. He was a famously climate denying senator who got appointed into Trump's cabinet to work at the EPA and dismantle a lot of the protections that were the environmental protections that they previously had. He was one of these guys that just was like flat out climate change is a hoax. So I don't know. I didn't see what he died of. I'm hoping it's heat stroke.
Right.
Because it's fucking hot out there. What the fuck?
Struck by lightning. Well, it's summer.
Yeah, it's just we'll see what the rest of the summer is going to be like. But man, it started early and hard.
I love it. Well, last year summer really wasn't all that much.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean,
there was one year when I was a kid. But summer started in like fucking March. It was great.
Well, we're getting record highs out there.
Well, to say that summer, I remember it was triple digits. I remember the radio station saying it was 104.3 degrees because that was their frequency.
Oh yeah, yeah. The place I'm at for the next 3 weeks has no air. The AC broke on it, and the landlord's
upstairs might as well have no air. Oh, it sucks. I'm never having 2 floors again.
Yeah.
Oh.
2 floors, not fun.
No, it is not 2 floors of fun here.
That's weird for like a condo like you got. Like usually, like I had a place that had a bungalow. Those were always like difficult because usually when they retrofit them, they don't ventilate them well enough, so you don't get it circulating. But yeah, maybe because you got like so many units, like everything's generating heat and it's all going to the top.
Yeah, heat rises.
Then you get one of those whole house fans, just shoot that shit out the top.
I wish.
Yeah, Hurricane. Where did they get the name Beryl?
They're running out of names.
I guess so.
Never met anyone named Beryl.
Yeah, but they never
known a few Daryls. Beryls.
Aren't there a lot of just names that they passed over? Like, has there ever been a Hurricane Chris, Hurricane Bob, Hurricane Fred?
Oh, yeah.
They had all those. They really run through all of them. Hurricane Beryl. If it continues, if it would have remained a hurricane, it probably would have went over Niagara Falls. Hurricane Beryl. Then we could say that Hurricane Beryl went over near Niagara Falls.
I don't have my rim shot sound effect handy.
I got to confess on that one. I stole that joke from the oldest guy at my office, who was so proud of his joke.
That is a dad joke and a half.
Yeah. And he was distraught that there were many other members of the office who he had to explain the joke to because it wasn't a concept.
Barrel is, yeah.
Yeah, first of all.
Like, I had to be reminded of what a barrel is.
I guess this is, there's whole generations now that haven't grown up on Looney Tune cartoons.
They don't know the trope of someone wearing a barrel as an outfit because they're broke.
Oh yeah, that was another thing. Well, they would go over the falls in a barrel. They would wear the barrel because they had no money. There was what other barrel humor? Like they would hide in a barrel and somebody would like shoot a shotgun through the hole in the side of it. They would just blast the edges
running
out.
On top of the barrel.
Oh, yeah.
Someone being stuck in the barrel and rolling down a hill.
A lot of barrel use. Packing it with explosives.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when you're trying to blow up like a road runner. Yeah.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Know the beautiful thing about being a sports fan? There's only like 2 days in the whole year without a game. 2. With so much happening and so much action, that makes just about every day game day at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple, like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. It really couldn't be any easier, any simpler. And if you're new to DraftKings, you gotta check this out. New customers can get up to $300 in bonus bets instantly based on the amount of their first bet. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code IHEART. That's promo code IHEART. For new customers to get up to $300 in bonus bets instantly based on the amount of their first bet. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Ohio only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at dkng.co/base.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
If you've struggled for years to lose weight and have given up hope, did you know you can now access GLP-1 prescription medications through LifeMD? LifeMD is now offering eligible patients online access to GLP-1s, the breakthrough prescription medication that can help you lose body fat and weight. Listen to what people are saying.
You just take your shot. It doesn't feel like you're on a diet. What I wasn't expecting it to do was to shut off the food noise. This was life-altering, and if I can do it, I feel like anybody can do it.
And here's the best part. Your insurance may cover 100% of the cost of your medication. So go to TryLifeMD.com to have your eligibility checked right now. Get started today at TryLifeMD.com. That's TryLifeMD.com.
It's time for today's Lucky Land horoscope with Victoria Cash.
Life's gotten mundane, so shake up the daily routine and be adventurous with a trip to Lucky Land. You know what they say. Your chance to win starts with a spin. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com to play over 100 social casino-style games for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Get lucky today at LuckyLandSlots.com.
Available to players in the U.S., excluding Washington and Michigan. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Know the beautiful thing about being a sports fan? There's only like 2 days in the whole year without a game. 2. With so much happening and so much action, that makes just about every day game day at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple, like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. It really couldn't be any easier, any simpler. And if you're new to DraftKings, you gotta check this out. New customers can get up to $300 in bonus bets instantly based on the amount of their first bet. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code IHEART. That's promo code IHEART. For new customers to get up to $300 in bonus bets instantly based on the amount of their first bet. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Ohio only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at dkng.co/base.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
If you've struggled for years to lose weight and have given up hope, did you know you can now access GLP-1 prescription medications through LifeMD? LifeMD is now offering eligible patients online access to GLP-1s, the breakthrough prescription medication that can help you lose body fat and weight. Listen to what people are saying.
You just take your shot. It doesn't feel like you're on a diet. What I wasn't expecting it to do was to shut off the food noise. This was life altering. And if I can do it, I feel like anybody can do it.
And here's the best part. Your insurance may cover 100% of the cost of your medication. So go to TryLifeMD.com to have your eligibility checked right now. Get started today at TryLifeMD.com. That's TryLifeMD.com.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
You know, it's a great movie. Hundreds of Beavers.
What?
Yeah, see...
This is porno?
It's difficult to even describe, so I see if you can find like maybe a preview for it or something. Just, Hundreds of Beavers. Put your safe search on. It's not a porn.
Definitely. Let's not look at the image search.
It makes me think, because it's the closest thing we have now to something that's like Looney Tunes.
Oh, there we go.
Where it's essentially a cartoon. I mean, it's not, but it's, it's hard to describe, like a kind of roughly animated live action thing. It's kind of a silent film. There's not a lot of speaking in it. And usually it just comes out like minion gibberish, most of the words. And it's very video gamified in the way that, it's about a guy who is, in order to make money and survive, he's found himself destitute. And he's out in the wild, and he has to learn how to trap beavers in order to get the things he wants. Like, first it was shelter and food, and then it was a young woman that he had his eye on. He's got to trap more beavers. And it's...
Well, my iOS is so old, I can't get it to load in either browser.
Yeah.
Maybe time to call it on the 2012 iPad 4.
It's very Looney Tunes cartoon. And that it's got slapsticky kind of jokes of him, learn to trap a beaver, and he does the whole bends the tree over and puts the noose on the ground, and then it snags the leg and throws the animal up. Only it's launches them into the air, and so he has to go and find where they're landing.
Does he have an account with the
Acme
Acme
sets
company?
up a trap there. Because when he finally finds where his beavers are landing, by the time he gets to them, there's coyotes that have eaten them. So then he has another contraption set up to keep the coyotes out.
Traps.
Yeah, it's to keep the coyotes out from eating his beavers before he can get to them.
You know what distracts him? Road runners.
Yeah, and it's got, but it also has kind of, I don't know. It's not completely childish. Like the Looney Tunes cartoons, there'd be a joke every once in a while where it was for the adults in the room.
I miss adult cartoons.
That's essentially what it is.
No one's allowed to take chances anymore.
It's a really well done adult cartoon.
Might offend somebody's delicate sensibilities. Adult Swim starts at 7 now. It's half the day.
Yeah. Their audience is they're going to bed early, right?
Yeah, anyone who's still watching linear TV.
Yeah. Well, 7's a good time, right? You're probably having your dinner.
Unless you get the early bird special.
They're doing a Time Bandit show that's actually coming out this month from Jermaine Clement and Taika Waititi.
Jermaine?
Yes. One half of Flight of the Conchords.
He's the guy who kept in front of the camera. Hasn't Brett excelled behind the camera? Isn't he a director? And didn't he do one of the Muppet movies? Did he direct it?
He was
wrote all the music.
He was a musical director for that. Yes. Yeah. I think you're right. He's done very successful behind the scenes. Jermaine, I think he's the funnier of the two. Or they worked really well as a team, but I think that's I guess they're both kind of deadpan, but Brett was the more deadpan one.
Yeah.
Where Jermaine's character is a little more over the top.
Yeah.
A little more expressive.
I love the band meetings.
Yeah.
Jermaine, chick. Brett,
well,
chick.
Yeah. Honestly, God, what is his name? Their manager, Reese Darby.
Yeah. The gig went well. Should we do another one?
he's the funniest out of
Yes.
any of those guys.
Like, yeah, any scene with the three of them, I loved.
Oh, and keep going back to comedians on podcasts. Any podcast you can find Reese Darby popping up on is a gem. He's a guy who is quick on his feet too.
But that's where we all first met Kristen Shaw. It's at least where I first met her.
Yeah.
She was fucking, what the fuck was her name?
She was the fan base. You mean Melanie?
Mel.
Mel. Yes, that's what
fan
it was. Yeah, the fan base. You mean Mel? Yes. Yeah, but when you say fan base, it sounds like there's more.
Yeah. And now everyone else knows her as Louise.
Wait, who's Louise?
Bob's Burgers. That show is...
Oh, right.
That show is in season 15.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. She just seems like a natural for voice acting.
And it hasn't been good for...
Really? I've never watched
my girlfriend got me
it.
into them, and I was like, cool, a show of 14 seasons. Awesome. Yeah, only half of them are good.
Yeah.
Like, they started liking the smell of their own farts, I guess, if buying into their own hype. Because all of a sudden it starts becoming preachy, and, like, the latest season, like, half of it's unwatchable. Because, they're turning into, like, morality tales. It's like, oh, my God, you're a comedy show.
Everything's a very special episode.
Please go watch your first 7 seasons. And there's this like run in the middle where it just turns into a musical. Where all of a sudden they're singing in every fucking episode.
Wow.
Like they obviously changed writing staffs or something, but it was like...
That's the true jumping the shark moment is when you do the musical episode. I think that's what everyone identifies the turning point in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There was I think it was a season 6, maybe it was a late season 5 episode where they did the musical episode, which actually isn't bad. They actually got good writers. It's not horrible, but most.
Now for Scrubs, the musical episode is beloved.
Yeah,
like people love it. Like it's considered one of and that was a season 6er.
Yeah,
but people, so I guess maybe it just depends.
Depends on how successful you are at actually doing good music. Did they write original stuff for it, or were they doing like rock covers?
No, they wrote songs for it.
Yeah, but Time Bandits. I had mentioned that, which I guess
Jermaine.
I wouldn't have thought that Time Bandits would be something that we need to go back to, but if we do need to go back to, it sounds like it's in good hands. I mean, Taika Waititi is. I guess he's our modern day. What's his nuts? Why am I forgetting the name of the ex Monty Python guy who directed Time Bandits?
Oh, Terry Gilliam.
Yeah. He's this generation's Terry Gilliam. I think it would be safe to say.
What's Terry Gilliam up to? Just counting his money, waiting to die?
Yeah, I don't know. He's got to be old as fuck.
He's got to be in his 70s. Yeah, those guys are all in their 70s.
He did finally finish his Don Quixote with, what's the Kylo Ren guy from Girls? With the schnoz.
Brody?
No.
Different schnoz.
Yeah.
No, Driver. Adam Driver.
Yes, Adam Driver. Yes, thank you. Yeah, they are too. Those are two guys that are cut from the same cloth, aren't they?
Same nasal cloth.
Same handkerchief.
The guy who looks weird, but chicks for some reason think he's hot.
I don't see a kid in here, so I guess there is a trailer. I haven't watched that, so I don't know if they're doing the trailer certainly indicates they'll be doing. Oh wait, oh yeah. So it's about a lonely British child that discovers a time portal. So yeah, it's basically redoing the movie, but I can't imagine it doesn't sound like they're gonna try and redo. They're redoing the concept of it, but we probably won't get the same characters. Because I don't know. I was thinking of something else. I was confusing with the Baron Munchausen movie. That was Terry Gilliam as well.
It was off my radar because I think it came out when I was 6.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I remember commercials for it. I remember going, that looks weird because I'm 6.
It is weird. It's supposed to be. It's an absurd story. That should have been right up your alley at that age, huh?
8.
No?
8. You're 8. You're in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
I'm still playing Ninja Turtles and shit.
Sure. I want to say, I was probably 8 when Time Bandits came out. Have you seen? Was that a movie that you got into?
No.
Really? But you were in the Monty Python stuff.
That hit in middle school.
Right.
Because Comedy Central played it.
Right, yeah. I don't know, I guess around the same time, because I remember seeing Time Bandits when it came out, but it making more of an impact on me in my teens when I was into, like, Monty Python. You know,
and if I was watching any Terry Gilliam movies in middle school, it was
Fear and Loathing?
The Holy Grail, that was high school. But, yeah, it was the Holy Grail.
Did he direct the Holy Grail?
I don't know, I know he was
I want to say he directed Life of Brian, but I don't think he directed Holy Grail. Might be wrong on that.
Come on, chicken, but you've got no arms.
There's a recent episode of The Boys where the compound that turns people into the compound that turns people into superheroes was used on it basically leaked into the groundwater of a farm and contaminated some farm animals, and it ended up being a bunch of sheep flying around and eating people. But they kind of did a fake out where you thought, because they showed a rabbit that they had tested it on.
Look at the bones.
Yeah. And there's a scene where like they let the rabbit go because one of the characters is sympathetic to it, and then you think it's going to attack them. They're like, oh, they're going to do a reference to, Monty Python, but they don't. And so actually one of the characters just stomps it on the head finally and kills the rabbit.
They should have.
We missed out on the rise of Hawk Tua Girl.
I don't care.
While we were gone. Is there that little entertainment out there?
Yes. We're just bored as a society. That a chick who talked about spitting on a dick during a blowjob has gotten like a month worth of fame out of it.
It was just a funny thing to say to somebody while you're drunk, right? It wasn't even a joke.
I feel this may be a societal indicator that we may look back on.
That she lost her job teaching, but she seems to be doing just fine selling hats and T-shirts.
Teaching. She was. See, no, she was working at a spring factory. Like working
at
third
a spring
shift.
Factory?
Yeah, at a factory that made springs. She was working third shift.
Why did I read that she was teaching?
Because the internet. But I actually heard a video of her this morning where she was talking about she was able to quit her job at the spring factory. She no longer works there.
Yeah. I swear I read that she got fired from a job. Haley has risen to fame with her cheeky humor. No, what?
It was one clip.
It was one.
Do you know she actually has an agent? She has been signed.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading the press release from her agent, Christian Barker. Known to her friends as the female Theo Vaughn. What? But after getting to know her on a greater level... If I was Theo Vaughn,
I'd be pissed. Be like, I've been doing stand-up for like 15 years. Eat a dick. She said one thing. Just because she's from the South, who gives a fuck?
I think her small-town grassroots story and how a chance encounter on Broadway took her on this unexpected path to stardom will resonate with millions.
Stardom, it's one clip. What is she going to do next? Unless it's OnlyFans, nobody's going to give a fuck.
Pose for Playboy.
Yeah.
We are proud to represent her on this journey.
Unless she can come up with a tight 5 and sound funny as fuck, this ain't going to last.
Is she going to have her own podcast?
Oh yeah, that's already a thing. Yep, it has already started.
People call in. She just tells them, you know what you need to do? You need to spit on it!
Yeah.
That's her catchphrase.
Catchphrase is spit on that thing. Know what you need to do? You need to spit on that thing.
Oh, no, you didn't. Just a random drop of a black person.
There are just the last 10 years, 15 years to me is just like, there are so many good artists and comedians and musicians who just never get heard. And the fucking people that we choose to give notoriety to just blows my fucking mind.
Yeah. Yeah, the human algorithm is baffling.
There's probably like so many good comedians we've never heard who've just given up Because they're like, listen, I got to pay the fucking bills. This was fun, but I got to go get a real job.
Well, one comedian that probably should have got out and got a real job, Jay Johnston.
Oh, Tony Pesto.
He was convicted. Or no, I'm sorry. He's not. He was. He pled guilty. He's going to be convicted. He hasn't been convicted yet, but he was. I know, like around the time when this first came out, shortly after the incident, the January 6th storm of the Capitol. It was, he was rumored to be there, and then, we found out that he was there. You see some of the video, like, he was not just there. He was right in the midst of all of it. Like, there's video of him, like, going right through the doors. Yeah, he's on Bob's Burgers, too, isn't he?
Not anymore.
Okay.
They recast him.
Yeah, probably right after that.
Yeah.
Jimmy
Pesto had the season off.
That was his Jimmy Pesto.
Yeah, he owns the pizza place across from Bob's Burgers.
Did he do the high voice?
No, he's just
he kind of does like that. Like he sounds like a kid from Brooklyn.
No, he's just doing. He just does the New York mook. It's pretty much his, what he does.
He was always funny on Mr. Show. He was good.
Which made me think
character actor, I guess you could say.
We know where David Cross stands politically. I think Bob Odenkirk's a Republican. Because
you think?
Do you know where he stands politically?
No, but why would that make you think?
Because in Hollywood, if you don't know where they stand politically, generally they're conservative.
I guess.
Because they keep that shit quiet. Because they want to still get work.
I don't know. Like, I don't... If what you're saying is true, it does, I guess, put him in the suspect category. But I don't know. Who gives a fuck? Like,
also true. But it just made me wonder, because I was thinking about, the cast of Mr. Show, let's think about it, right?
Well, who else would be, like, besides, obviously, Jay Johnston is a Trump supporter. You think?
Well, I bet you SpongeBob's conservative because he's rich. He's got that SpongeBob money.
I don't know.
Well, he's he's associated with kids shows. He probably just doesn't touch that shit with a 10-foot pole.
Right.
Like I'm a kids performer.
Yeah.
That is built.
And nobody's asking him for his politics anyways.
Well, no, but Twitter's a thing, right? People don't care.
What does Kimmy Schmidt call SpongeBob? Oh, cheese businessman. She's like, I don't even know what this is, but you're awesome, cheese businessman.
I wish that show would have stayed good.
I think
I couldn't even watch.
I'm running through it again. I'm like halfway through, maybe not even halfway through season 3. So
I couldn't get through season 3.
No, really?
I felt season 3 had become like a parody of itself.
I feel like I think it dipped early in it was kind of directionless in the beginning of season 2, and then when Tina Fey comes on as her therapist.
No, I know what it did.
That really picks up.
It did. When I pick up on shows doing it, I'm out. It started repeating jokes.
Yeah.
Like Family Guy did that to me. I was an avid Family Guy viewer until they got 10 seasons in. I'm like, you're repeating jokes. I'm out. Like you're out of ideas. Like you did this joke in season X.
The episode that I just watched before I came here actually was the musical episode. So yeah, maybe it does mark the beginning of the end. Because where Titus was lemonading. But no doubt, first season, super solid and definitely the funniest.
Yeah. Oh God, I can't remember her name. The actress who plays her.
I forgot it too. Is it Erin or was that her character?
Erin, that's her name in The Office.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember.
Who played Kimmy Schmidt? Ellie Kemper.
Ellie Kemper.
She's going to play in a nitwit.
Oh,
that's what
great.
Erin was too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Erin was a giant idiot too. Man, Siri's making me lazy. Like she does my math now. I've realized I've been underutilizing that function forever.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm doing inventory at work. I'd be like, hey Siri, what's 1/4 of 50? No. Yeah. Because I just don't want to think.
I mean, I go for. I never think to use Siri. I never think to use Siri, actually.
Oh, I didn't until I started working with my buddy who uses it for everything. I was like, whoa, yeah. I have been wildly underutilizing this feature of my phone.
Yeah.
Especially for sending texts.
Pretty soon it's going to be Chat GPT powered Siri.
Oh, God. But too, it'll be, hey, I'll activate her. Just...
Hey, S-word.
Yeah, hey, S-word, tell Waze to take me to blank. Just does that. Tell YouTube Music to put on blank. Siri does everything for me now. She's still terrible at sending texts.
Yeah.
Like, she do all this other shit, and every now and then you look, that is not even close to what I fucking said.
Well, the transcription isn't there.
Yeah.
I saw that new Bad Boys movie. Bad Boys 4.
Martin Lawrence and his giant
Ride
head.
or Die. Martin Lawrence's giant head. That was pretty fucking fantastic, I have to say. Maybe the second best Bad Boys movie.
Second best?
Yeah, next to the first. Bad Boys 1's awesome. Bad Boys 2's pretty good. 3, not so much.
3, they were just trying to get a check.
Yeah. 4 is, back in full swing.
Even though they're people's granddads now.
Yeah.
Could be.
There's even a slap moment for Will Smith.
Oh.
He gets slapped like 3 times by Martin Lawrence to snap him out of whatever the fuck he's
self-deprecation.
Doing. Yeah. But it was definitely intentional.
Was it how he slapped Chris Rock? Same kind of slap?
No.
Well, they should have done that. If you're gonna do it, just do it all the way.
Yeah, that was like a full swing, like mid stride, like that's probably like as hard as you can slap somebody.
And I loved Chris Rock's reaction. There's no other. I guess Will Smith just slapped the shit out of it. Like what? That just happened on national television. What can you say?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, there are definitely guys, and I think that's maybe the majority. I really don't know, but most guys would. I'm not saying that they would attack, but most guys would go into that mode, or at least that way of thinking. Like, I don't know, but Chris Rock doesn't seem like a guy who gets in a lot of fights. So I'm not a guy who gets in a lot of fights, So
agreed. Same.
If somebody slapped me, if somebody was attacking me, that would be one thing. If I honestly felt I had to defend myself, but a single slap and then they're going to leave it at that, I'd just be so shocked I wouldn't know how to react.
Think about Charlie Murphy. You don't slap a man. Have you seen the Axel F movie yet?
I haven't. I'm curious about that too. I think I've avoided it because I don't want to be disappointed. But
I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard it's corny but fun.
Right.
I heard if you're us, if you're from here, I guess there's a lot of Detroit member berries in it.
Yeah. Was it actually any of it filmed in Detroit?
I wonder. Not sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I really liked the Dolomite movie that he did. I thought that was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I enjoyed that movie.
I did not watch The Coming to America 2.
I heard that was a big giant piece of shit.
I heard it was not worth it. Yeah. And I just didn't, I don't need to, I don't know. We're from the generation that, we hold Eddie Murphy in such high regard. He was like the king of comedy for so long.
Yeah, and Beverly Hills Cop 3 is a big piece of shit, so we're still butthurt from that, too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. I think he's a big enough star where, you're going to have flops. But he also just seemed to, by choice, just go away. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't by choice. Who knows what really goes on.
Dr. Dolittle movies.
Yeah. But he definitely had that,
Well, he's trying to change his image because he had that whole thing with the... are you not... So we called it back then, kids, with the transvestite prostitute.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you want kids these days to understand why Eddie Murphy is funny, maybe don't start them off with Raw. I don't think they're ready for it.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, it's not I'm not even being uptight about it. There's stuff that does not hold up that made me laugh when I was a kid, and I listened to it and I'm like, yeah, it's not even that funny. The whole joke of it is somebody's gay. There's too many of those jokes in there where you're just it really doesn't hold up. Now that doesn't mean that I'm crucify this guy for, being fucking homophobic and transphobic in late 80s black person. Like, what? Like,
no, I get it. You know what's weird for me?
don't like maybe I should have just left the black thing out of it, but that's a factor. I see it.
No, you know what's been, you know what I noticed lately has been ruined for me is the song Walk This Way. I don't know if you've been following Steven Tyler in the news the last few months.
No, wait. Why would he be? Why is he in the news?
He had a sexual assault come to through. California did the whole lifted the statute of limitations thing, and somebody came forward, and essentially Walk This Way is kind of autobiographical. Like,
I'm trying to think.
He's talking about fucking high school chicks.
Oh, okay.
And he's not in high school,
right?
And
is that what it's about? I never thought of. I never paid attention to the lyrics.
If you read the details of his latest of the lawsuit filed against him, and then you read the lyrics of the song "Walk This Way," it'll be ruined for you forever. It came on, I was like, ah.
I don't know if it's a song that could be ruined for me. It's not like I hold it in some high regard, but yeah.
Basically, he was carting like a 14, 15-year-old chick around the country.
Yeah.
And I think did the whole thing where I think he became her guardian so he could stay out of legal, like that kind of shit. Like.
There's a lot of stories like that, especially in rock.
And then we look the other way because we like their song, right? Bring it all back to we talk about the beginning.
Yeah. If we like the output. And then what happens when you're still out there as an artist and we don't like your output anymore? Now you're vulnerable.
Now you're R. Kelly and you're in jail for 20 fucking... No, I think it's probably in jail till he dies. Seeing the age he went to jail.
I mean, like, I don't even know if you can equate the two things. It was a different time. Like, sure, like, look.
Was it a different... I mean...
No, the Steven Tyler thing. Yeah. I'm not trying to defend Steven Tyler, but like, you're talking about a guy who seduced a high schooler in the 70s, probably, right? 80s, versus a guy who kept multiple women, like, basically imprisoned. That's kind of a different thing. They're like the mole women.
And Elvis marrying Priscilla. Jerry Lee Lewis. Hey, this is my 13-year-old cousin, also my wife.
Yes.
And we were like, but we like Great Balls of Fire. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all creepy. I don't know. What are you going to do? I think, the two people I think handle it the best.
I mean, I'd leave Thriller on when it comes on.
Pete Holmes has just coined...
Controversy noted.
Scandal noted.
Oh, scandal noted, yeah.
His scandal noted has gone worldwide now, and it's just a great shorthand for somebody to like... So they don't have to say, I was watching... I was enjoying the first season of House of Cards and thinking that it's really good. Kevin Spacey, scandal noted, right? That's all you have to say. Rather than, I was enjoying House of Cards. Now I know Kevin Spacey's a weirdo, and you go through the whole fucking thing of like, digging yourself out of the hole before you're even in the hole. And yeah, that works as great. And the guy who does, rock and roll in 500 songs, he does a really good job of just like, he contextualizes it and just says, hey, we're going to state this. This is what this guy did. We're still going to talk about his music, and we're still going to talk about how, what it did for rock and roll and what it means to people and all that shit,
Jimmy Page had a 14-year-old girlfriend through most of Led Zeppelin.
They were all fucked up. You give people free license to act like assholes and not have any repercussions, they're going to do asshole things. They're going to take advantage of people.
I was telling somebody the other day, if you would have gave me like millions of dollars in my early 20s, I'd be dead.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know how to get out of this one, but I don't know how to pull out of it, but we got to wrap up.
Oh, there's a terrible joke in there somewhere. I'm just going to wrap it up. It's good to be back. Yeah. That's all I'll say. Yeah, it was unplanned hiatus for a while. It's good to be back. At Weedsman 420 on your social media, ChristopherMedia.net, with the PayPal button and all that other stuff there, and wherever you listen to us, resume listening to us. If you can rate us and review us, that helps.
Helps greatly.
Please and thank you. Tell people about the show. Tell them we're back. If you're still with us, thank you. We appreciate it. And stay high.
Stay high.
Victoria Cash. Thanks for calling the Lucky Land Hotline. If you feel like you do the same thing every day, press 1. If you're ready to have some serious fun for the chance to redeem some serious prizes, press 2. We heard you loud and clear. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com right now and play over 100 social casino-style games for free. Get lucky today at LuckyLandSlots.com.
Available to players in the U.S., excluding Washington and Michigan. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at LifeMD.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
If you've struggled for years to lose weight and have given up hope, did you know you can now access GLP-1 prescription medications through LifeMD? LifeMD is now offering eligible patients online access to GLP-1s, the breakthrough prescription medication that can help you lose body fat and weight. Listen to what people are saying.
You just take your shot. It doesn't feel like you're on a diet. What I wasn't expecting it to do was to shut off the food noise. This was life altering. And if I can do it, I feel like anybody can do it.
And here's the best part. Your insurance may cover 100% of the cost of your medication. So go to TryLifeMD.com to have your eligibility checked right now. Get started today at TryLifeMD.com. That's TryLifeMD.com.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.